Hello there, my name is Richard McMunn, and in this training video I am going to teach you how to pass the IELTS English Speaking Assessment. If you are undertaking the IELTS anytime soon, make sure you stay tuned because the tips, practice questions and sample answers I am about to give you will definitely help you pass at the first attempt. And to achieve that goal, I will cover 4 things in this training video. Number 1, I will explain what the IELTS English Speaking Test is and also explain what happens during the test. Number 2, I will give you 3 powerful and important tips for preparing effectively for the IELTS assessment. Number 3, I will then tell you which English speaking test questions you should prepare for, plus give you top scoring example answers. And then finally, number 4, I will tell you where you can instantly download my 50 great answers to common IELTS English speaking test questions. And just very quickly, if you are new to my channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. My name is Richard McMunn. I am here to help you progress throughout your career. I can only achieve that goal if you are subscribed, and please give the video a thumbs up because that motivates me to create more brilliant content for you. And please tell me the date of your English speaking test in the comment section below the video so I can give you some extra tips to help you prepare. Thank you very much. Okay, to begin with, what is the IELTS English Speaking Test? Well, IELTS stands for International English Language Testing System. Now, the IELTS speaking test is a face-to-face interview that assesses your ability to communicate in English with 3 parts, focusing on different aspects of speaking, including personal opinions, extended talks on a specific topic, and also discussions with the examiner. Now, the test is divided into 3 parts. Part 1 of the test lasts for between 4 and 5 minutes. The examiner will ask you general questions about yourself, your family, and everyday topics like home, work, studies, and general interests. And very soon, I will tell you which topics you should prepare for, including giving you example answers to those topics and questions. Now, once part 1 is completed, you will move on to part 2. Now, part 2 of the IELTS assessment lasts for 3 to 4 minutes. And during part 2, you will be given a task card and asked to speak for 1 to 2 minutes on a given topic, allowing you to organise your thoughts and speak at length. And then part 3 will last for approximately 4 to 5 minutes. During part 3 of the test, you will have a longer discussion with the examiner about the topic that was introduced in part 2, exploring related ideas and opinions. And it is absolutely vital that you practice your answers to the topics that might come up during the test before you undertake it. The more practice you do, the greater your chances of passing will be. And in this video, I'm going to give you lots of practice questions for you to try out. So what is the purpose of the IELTS? Well, the test itself assesses your ability to talk at length on a given topic using appropriate English language. It also assesses your ability to communicate your opinions on everyday topics and also discuss common experiences. The test also assesses your ability to express and justify your opinions, give answers in a structured manner, and also analyse, discuss, and speculate about specific issues. And I have highlighted structured manner in red because it is vital you give your responses in a coherent and structured way. And I will help you achieve that in this training video. So let me now give you 3 brilliant tips for preparing for the IELTS English Speaking Assessment. Tip number 1 is to make sure you practice speaking daily. This is very important. So I recommend you talk about common IELTS topics aloud because this will help to improve fluency, pronunciation, and confidence. Now that word there, pronunciation, is very important during the English speaking test. What is pronunciation? Well, pronunciation is how you speak words and sentences. So let me give you an example sentence, but I will pronounce it in 2 different ways. Here is the first way. My hometown is a great place to live. I am very fortunate to live there. Now that did not sound very passionate or appealing. Let me now pronounce the sentences in a different way. My hometown is a great place to live. I am very fortunate to live there. Now you will notice that the second sentence was pronounced in a positive and passionate manner. And that's how I want you to speak when practicing with passion. Tip number 2, and this is a really important tip, is to make sure you record your answers. Now, when practicing, you can record your answers using a smartphone. I recommend once you have recorded your answers, you listen back for grammar mistakes, filler words, and also pronunciation issues to make sure that you refine your speaking style. And I strongly recommend you copy my speaking style. You will notice that I am speaking confidently, clearly, and also slowly. And that is another really important tip when preparing for the IELTS English Speaking Assessment. Slow down. That will give you time to think what it is you want to say. And it will also demonstrate you have confidence in your English speaking skills. So please make sure you copy my speaking style when practicing. Tip number 3 is to use a variety of vocabulary. What do I mean? Well, I recommend you incorporate synonyms to boost your IELTS score. What is a synonym? Well, a synonym is a word that has the same or nearly the same meaning as another word, such as good and excellent. Now, those 2 words are different, but they have the same meaning. So I recommend you incorporate synonyms in your answers to the IELTS questions that will come up during the speaking test. And this will demonstrate that you have a variety of vocabulary when using the English language. Let me give you some examples of synonyms for you to write down and practice. So if you were going to use the word important in a sentence during the test, you might decide to vary it up and try a different word that has the same meaning. Examples would be significant, vital, essential. Let's assume that you were using the word good throughout your speaking test. You might decide to vary things and try different words for the same meaning. Excellent, outstanding, impressive. Again, write these down and incorporate them into your daily practice. The next word, interesting. Synonyms of the word interesting are fascinating, intriguing and captivating. And two more examples. Happy, synonyms would be joyful, thrilled, and pleased. And then the word amazing, synonyms for amazing are incredible, fantastic, and also wonderful. So make sure you incorporate synonyms when practicing for the IELTS English speaking test. Okay, let's now take a look at some sample test questions, tips, and example responses that you can practice. So don't forget, part 1 of the IELTS speaking test lasts for 4 to 5 minutes. During part 1 of the test, the examiner will ask you general questions about yourself, your family, and everyday topics like home, work, studies, and interests. Don't forget to practice speaking daily. Come onto this video every day and practice the topics I am about to give you. And don't forget to practice my answers. The answers I am about to give you are perfect practice for the IELTS speaking test assessment. Make sure you practice these answers and also copy my speaking style to demonstrate confidence. Topic number 1 for IELTS Part 1 is the personal introduction. The first question, can you tell me your full name? So I would respond confidently by saying this. Yes, of course. My name is Richard McMahon. Now, of course, you would change my name to your name. You would say, yes, of course. My name is, and then insert your name. So say that first question with confidence, practice it right here on the screen, pause the video, and practice my speaking style until you can say it back with confidence. Yes, of course. My name is, insert your name. Question number 2 would be, can I see your identification, please? Now, for IELTS, you need to bring the same valid original identification, a passport, or your national identity card that you used to register for the test. That is important. Bring the same valid identification. Now, copies or expired identifications are not accepted and you won't be allowed to sit the test without it. So make sure you have the correct identification with you. So when responding to question 2, can I see your identification, please? You can say this. Yes, of course. Here is my original passport or national identity card. Pause the video and practice saying back that answer using my speaking style. Yes, of course. Here is my original passport or national identity card. Don't forget to take your time, slow down your response, and speak clearly and confidently. The next question, question number 3 of topic 1, which is personal introduction, is where do you come from? Let me give you some really good tips for constructing the perfect answer. I recommend you mention your city or town clearly with the correct pronunciation. You should provide a brief detail or two about what makes your hometown interesting or unique. And I also recommend you express personal feelings or experiences about your hometown to make the response authentic. The word authentic means your response is genuine and it comes with passion. So let me now give you my example answer to the IELTS speaking test question, where do you come from? And you can use this as a template to construct your own response based on your hometown. Where do you come from? I come from Delhi, the capital city of India. It's an incredibly vibrant and bustling city known for its rich history, diverse culture, and delicious street food. Growing up in Delhi has been fantastic because there's always something exciting happening, from festivals and markets to historical landmarks. I feel lucky to have experienced life in such a dynamic place. So that gives you a template answer to construct your own response based on your hometown. Now you will notice that I am already using synonyms. Fantastic is a synonym for amazing. So I could replace the word fantastic with either amazing, incredible, or wonderful. Don't forget to use synonyms throughout the English speaking test to demonstrate depth of vocabulary. Question number 4. Do you work or study? Here are some really important tips to help you construct the perfect response. I recommend you mention any work experience you have gained, including who you worked for and the hours you worked. I recommend you also give brief details of your work responsibilities. Now, for any study activities, I recommend you say what you have been studying, where, the name of the college, or if you were studying online, and also what your academic goals are. So let me now give you 2 example answers, one for work and the other for study. The first answer is for study. Do you work or study? Here we go. Yes, although I'm not enrolled in formal education right now, I've been actively studying various courses online, especially focused on improving my English speaking skills. My goal is to move abroad for work, so I've been taking online classes and webinars to build my confidence and fluency in English. This preparation has really helped me communicate more clearly and effectively, and I believe passing the IELTS exam will open up exciting professional opportunities for me overseas. So that is a really good example answer for study of that question, do you work or study? Again, pause the video and practice it. It will help improve your English speaking skills. Let me now give you another example answer, this time for work. Do you work or study? Here we go. I currently work part-time at weekends in a local cafe. I work from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. on Saturday and 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. on Sunday. My responsibilities include welcoming customers, taking orders, and ensuring everyone's visit to the cafe is enjoyable. And you can see how these responses are structured, and they will help demonstrate you have good English speaking skills. Don't forget to slow down and also practice daily with your responses. IELTS speaking test, question number 5. What do you like most about your job? Let me give you a sample answer. This is a really good response for topic 1, personal introduction. I like interacting with people from all walks of life, and I get satisfaction from serving customers and meeting their needs. I particularly like the job variety and being active, as this helps keep me fit. That's a really good example answer. Don't forget to practice your pronunciation of difficult words. Okay, now don't go anywhere because I still have many more topics, questions and tips to give you, but when you are ready, click the link in the top right-hand corner of the video and you can download my 50 IELTS English speaking test questions and brilliant practice answers. You get 50 questions and 50 answers for you to practice before your IELTS assessment. And you can get all of those answers in your inbox by clicking that link. Let's now move on to topic number 2, which is your hometown. Question number 6. Describe your hometown. Let me give you some important tips before I give you a brilliant example answer. I recommend you clearly state your hometown's name and location at the start of your response. I recommend you include brief details about its historical background because that will help demonstrate you have a thorough understanding of your hometown and what makes it interesting. I also recommend you mention specific attractions or notable landmarks or events. For example, historic monuments in the local area. And I also recommend you add a personal reflection about how you feel living there. Let me now give you a really good answer for you to use as your own structure for your own response based on your hometown. Here we go. My hometown is Delhi, which is the vibrant capital city of India. It's a fascinating place filled with history, culture and diversity. You can explore historic monuments like the Red Fort or Humayun's tomb, visit busy street markets that offer delicious local food, or enjoy modern shopping malls and restaurants. Delhi offers a unique blend of traditional charm and modern amenities, making it an exciting place to live. That is a really good answer, and you are giving your response with confidence. Don't forget, you can use that as a structure to create your own response based on your hometown. The next question, question number 7 for IELTS topic 2, hometown, is what do you dislike about your hometown? Now, I don't recommend you say there's nothing I dislike. Don't forget, the IELTS is assessing your ability to discuss your ideas and opinions in a coherent and confident manner. Let me give you some tips. So I recommend you mention 1 or 2 specific dislikes. Traffic congestion or weather are really good examples. I recommend you explain briefly why it bothers you, but do not be overly negative. And I also recommend you balance your response by saying how your hometown could be improved. Let me give you a brilliant example response. What do you dislike about your hometown? Well, although I genuinely love Delhi, one thing I find challenging is the heavy traffic congestion, particularly during rush hours. Commuting can sometimes become stressful because it takes much longer than expected to reach your destination. Additionally, the city faces pollution issues, especially during winter months, which impacts air quality. If these problems were addressed, Delhi would be an even better place to live from a travel and health perspective. That was a brilliant response that was delivered with confidence. I was not being overly negative about my hometown, but I was explaining why I felt there were certain things that I did not like. It was a really good response delivered with passion. You can use that response to structure your own answer based on your own hometown. Now, there are additional questions I recommend you practice for topic 2, which is hometown. And those questions are, has your hometown changed recently? And also, would you prefer to live somewhere else? Don't forget, you can get example answers to those questions and all of the ones I am covering in this video by clicking the link in the top right-hand corner of the video at any time. Let's now move on to topic 3 of the IELTS speaking test, and that is family and friends. The next question, question 10. Describe your family. Let me give you some tips. Now, I recommend you start your answer by saying how many people are in your immediate family, your parents and siblings. So siblings are your brothers and sisters. Explain how your family has supported you in your goals, and also briefly explain what each family member currently does for work or study. Let me give you a brilliant example answer. Describe your family. I come from a close-knit family of 4. There's my mother and father, my younger sister, and myself. My parents have always been supportive, especially when it comes to pursuing my career ambitions. My dad runs his own small business, and my mum works as a nurse, and both have taught me the importance of hard work and dedication. My sister is currently studying at university, and we share a lot in common, such as a love for travel and trying new foods. Overall, my family is incredibly important to me. They're my biggest motivators and the reason I strive to achieve my goals. That is a brilliant answer to that common IELTS English speaking test question. Describe your family. It's a really good response because it is structured. Don't forget to revisit those tips I gave you on the previous page before constructing your answer. Make sure you practice it lots of times before your English speaking test. Now, there are further questions I recommend you practice for topic 3, family and friends. And those additional questions are, who are you closest to in your family? And question 12, how do you spend time with your friends? And also there is an additional question, do you prefer spending time alone or with friends? Now, there is no right or wrong answer to question 13. However, if I were attending the IELTS English speaking assessment, I would say I prefer to spend time with my friends because that helps to develop interpersonal skills such as empathy, understanding, and being supportive of others. Let's now move on to topic 4 of the IELTS speaking test, and this is hobbies and interests. This is a really important section. Let's take a look at a sample question. Question 14, what activities do you enjoy in your free time? Let me give you some great tips. I recommend you try to give 3 activities in your answer. I recommend you provide brief reasons why your chosen activities are enjoyable. So here is a brilliant structured answer to topic 4, hobbies and interests. What activities do you enjoy in your free time? Make sure you practice this response. In my free time, I particularly enjoy reading books, especially non-fiction, because it allows me to immerse myself in content that improves my skills. I also love playing cricket with friends, as it's a great way to stay physically active while socializing. Additionally, when I have more time, I enjoy cooking new recipes because it helps me relax and develop new skills in the kitchen. So I am giving 3 different activities that I particularly enjoy. It's a really good sample answer to that common IELTS English speaking question, what activities do you enjoy in your free time? Now, additional questions for topic 4, hobbies and interests are, what are your hobbies? Do you prefer indoor or outdoor activities? Again, there is no right or wrong answer. However, I would say I prefer outdoor activities because that gives me more to talk about when giving my response. Let's now move on to topic number 5 of the IELTS speaking test, and this is your studies and work. Question number 17. Why did you choose this area of study? Let me give you some tips. I recommend you mention general interests and personal strengths that are aligned to your chosen area of study. I recommend you highlight practical benefits and also skill development as part of your answer, and also try to connect the study area to your future career aspirations and opportunities. And also, finally, emphasize personal growth and development as reasons why you have chosen your area of study. Let me give you a brilliant example answer to practice to that common question, why did you choose this area of study? Here it is. I chose this area of study because it aligns closely with my interests and personal strengths. I have always been naturally curious about this field, and I believe studying it provides valuable knowledge and skills that will help me grow professionally. Additionally, this area of study offers various opportunities for career advancement and personal development, making it both practically beneficial and personally rewarding. And you can see how I am speaking. I am taking my time, I am pausing before speaking, and I am slowing down, which shows you I have confidence in my English speaking communication skills. Don't forget, practice makes perfect. Additional questions I recommend you prepare for in IELTS Topic 5 Studies and Work are: what do you plan to do after finishing your studies? What do you enjoy most about your work or studies? Don't forget you can download example answers, including all of the ones we are working through here today, by clicking the link in the top right-hand corner of the video. IELTS Speaking Test Questions, Topic 6, Accommodation. Question 20. Where would you like to live when you start working or studying? Let me give you a brilliant structured answer that you can practice. When I start working or studying, I'd prefer to live in an apartment close by, ideally within walking distance or with convenient public transportation. Living nearby would allow me to avoid stressful commutes and spend more time on personal development or hobbies. I'd also like the neighbourhood to be vibrant with cafes, parks, and a friendly community atmosphere, as this would help me relax and socialise after a busy day at work. That is a really good example answer to that common IELTS English speaking question: where would you like to live when you start working or studying? Additional questions for Topic 6 Accommodation are: do you plan to live alone or with others in the future? And also, what kind of accommodation would you like when you begin your career or studies? Let's now move on to IELTS Speaking Test Topic 7, which is travel and holidays. Don't forget, copy my speaking style and practice these answers. You will be glad that you did. Topic 7, Travel and Holidays, question 23. What place would you most like to visit in the future? Let me give you some tips. Here we go. Number 1, I recommend you mention famous landmarks clearly. For example, if you wanted to visit London, you would say Buckingham Palace or Tower Bridge. Mentioning famous landmarks clearly makes your answer specific and culturally relevant. Number 2, give clear reasons for your choice. Mentioning history, attractions, and food provides clear explanations and justification for your choice. And number 3, make sure you use descriptive vocabulary. Words like iconic, vibrant, diverse, atmosphere, and fascinating demonstrate strong English vocabulary to impress the IELTS examiner. So let me now give you a really good structured answer to that question: what place would you most like to visit in the future? Here we go. I'd really love to visit London in the future. I've heard so much about its incredible history, landmarks, and vibrant atmosphere. I'd particularly enjoy seeing iconic attractions like Buckingham Palace, Tower Bridge, and the British Museum. Additionally, London's diverse food scene appeals to me, and I think exploring different neighbourhoods like Camden or Notting Hill would be fascinating. So that is a really good, confident answer to that common IELTS English speaking question: what place would you most like to visit in the future? And additional questions I recommend you prepare for Topic 7 are: do you like travelling? And also describe a memorable holiday. Let's now move on to IELTS speaking test topic number 8, which is food and diet. Question 26. Do you prefer traditional or international cuisine? Tips. Number 1, provide a clear preference. So clearly state your preference right at the start of your answer to give structure and clarity to your response. Number 2, include personal experiences or examples. I recommend you mention specific dishes or experiences to make your answer authentic and engaging. Don't forget, the word authentic means genuine. And number 3, balance your response. You can acknowledge both sides briefly, even if you strongly prefer one, to demonstrate nuance and depth in your answer. Let me give you a brilliant response so you can pause the video and practice it. Don't forget to practice my speaking style. IELTS English speaking test question. Do you prefer traditional or international cuisine? While I appreciate both traditional and international cuisine, I personally prefer international dishes because they offer an exciting variety of flavors and cooking styles. Exploring different cuisines allows me to experience new cultures, which is both fascinating and enriching. That said, traditional dishes hold a special place in my heart, especially during family gatherings, because they connect me to my roots and childhood memories. Ultimately, though, I find international food more appealing because of the diversity it brings to my dining experiences. That is a brilliant answer. Practice it before your English speaking test. And additional questions you should prepare for topic 8, food and diet, are: what is your favourite food? And also, do you cook at home or eat out more? Don't forget, you can download the answers at any time by clicking that link in the top right-hand corner of the video. IELTS speaking test, topic 9, technology and internet. Question 29. Do you think technology helps people stay connected? Tips. Number 1, be clear and direct. Start with a strong, clear statement expressing your opinion directly. Don't forget, there's no right or wrong answer, but you should demonstrate confidence in your belief. Number 2, provide specific examples. So I recommend you use real-life examples to illustrate your points and make your answer more convincing. And number 3, make sure you finish by acknowledging both positive and negative aspects. So you can show balance in your response by briefly acknowledging potential downsides, which demonstrates your ability to think critically. Let me give you a strong answer. Do you think technology helps people stay connected? Write this down or pause the video and practice it. Absolutely. Technology significantly helps people stay connected. With tools like social media, video calls, and instant messaging apps, people can easily communicate even when they're thousands of miles apart. For instance, during the pandemic, technology played a vital role by enabling families and friends to remain close despite restrictions. However, it's important to manage technology wisely because relying on virtual connections shouldn't replace genuine face-to-face interactions entirely. That is a really good example answer, again, that you can practice, and it demonstrates that you have strong English speaking skills. And more additional questions I recommend you prepare for IELTS topic 9, technology and internet, are: how often do you use the internet? What devices do you use most often? Now, there are more IELTS speaking topics I recommend you prepare for. Topic 10 is books and films. Let me give you some sample questions. Question 32. What types of books or movies do you enjoy? Question 33. Describe a book or movie you recently enjoyed. And question 34, do you prefer reading or watching films? Topic 11 is health and fitness. Question 35, how do you stay healthy? Question 36, do you enjoy exercise? And question 37, is it easy to stay fit in your hometown? And topic 12 is the environment. Here are some example questions. Are environmental issues important to you? Question 39, how can people help protect the environment? And question 40, do you think your hometown is environmentally friendly? Now, if you want brilliant answers, example responses for you to practice, again, click the link at any time in the top right-hand corner of the video. Now, I want to move on to the next section, which is part 2 of the English speaking test, the IELTS. Part 2 will last for approximately 3 to 4 minutes. You will be given a task card and asked to speak for 1 to 2 minutes on a given topic, allowing you to organise your thoughts and speak at length. Let me give you some example topics for IELTS Part 2. Describe a person who influenced your life. Describe a memorable holiday you've had recently. Describe an event you recently attended. Describe your favourite book or movie. And describe something you bought recently, and also describe a time when you helped someone. So those are example topics that feature all the time during IELTS Part 2. I now want to give you an example response to the topic, describe a memorable holiday you've had recently. Here it is. One of the most memorable holidays I've had recently was a weekend trip to the Lake District in the north of England. I went there with a group of close friends, and it was a much-needed break for all of us. Before the trip, we spent time researching accommodation on Airbnb to find a place that was within our budget, but also comfortable enough for everyone. Eventually, we came across a beautiful cottage tucked away in a quiet valley. It had enough rooms for all of us and a lovely fireplace, which was perfect for the chilly evenings. To make the most of our time there, we also joined a Lake District walking Facebook group in advance to get recommendations on the best hiking routes. The advice we received was incredibly helpful, and it allowed us to plan our walks based on our fitness levels and how much time we had. One of the highlights was climbing Helvellyn. It was challenging, but the panoramic views from the top made it totally worth it. During the trip, we cooked meals together, played card games, and had long conversations by the fire. It really brought us closer as friends and helped strengthen our bond. Being surrounded by nature, away from the pressures of everyday life, made us feel relaxed and recharged. It was the perfect mix of adventure, relaxation, and friendship, a holiday I'll never forget. So that is a response of between 1 and 2 minutes in length to that common topic question, describe a memorable holiday you've had recently. Now, in part 3, which lasts 4 to 5 minutes of the IELTS English speaking test, you will have a longer discussion with the examiner about the topic that was introduced in part 2, exploring related ideas and opinions. So, for example, the previous topic, I was required to talk about a memorable holiday. The next question in part 3 might be, do you think travelling is important? Why? I would then give my response. Here's how I would answer that common question. Yes, I strongly believe that travelling is very important for several reasons. Firstly, it allows people to broaden their horizons and gain a deeper understanding of the world beyond their immediate surroundings. When we travel to different countries or even regions within our own country, we are exposed to new cultures, traditions, and ways of life. This helps to build tolerance, open-mindedness, and a greater appreciation for diversity. Secondly, traveling can be a powerful educational experience. It's one thing to learn about history, geography, or art in a classroom, but it's entirely different to see historical landmarks in person, walk through ancient cities, or view famous works of art in real life. These experiences tend to leave a lasting impression and often deepen a person's knowledge and curiosity. In addition, traveling offers a much-needed break from our daily routines. Many people live fast-paced, stressful lives, and taking time off to visit new places can help improve mental health and overall well-being. It gives people a chance to relax, reflect, and return home feeling recharged. Furthermore, travel often encourages personal growth. Being in unfamiliar surroundings and dealing with challenges such as language barriers or finding your way in a new city can improve problem-solving skills and build confidence. It also helps people become more adaptable and independent. Lastly, traveling creates opportunities to connect with others. Whether it's bonding with friends during a group trip or meeting locals and fellow travelers, these connections often lead to meaningful relationships and unforgettable memories. In conclusion, travel is much more than just a leisure activity. It plays an important role in personal development, education, and emotional well-being, which is why I think it's something everyone should try to do whenever they get the chance. Can you imagine giving that level of response to your IELTS English-speaking Topic 3 question? Do you think traveling is important? Why? I am confident you would pass the test. Now, we have covered a huge amount in this training video. Don't forget, if you want to download my full set of 50 IELTS speaking test questions, click the link right now in the top right-hand corner of the video. Head straight through to my website, passmyinterview.com, and you can get all of the answers I have just given you, plus more brilliant responses to all of the topics, all of the parts, 1, 2, and 3. It's a brilliant resource for you to practice before your IELTS English speaking test. Get that guide. You will be glad that you did. Don't forget to practice and copy my speaking style. Slow down, speak confidently and clearly, and I am confident you will pass the IELTS. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also give the video a thumbs up. I really do appreciate your support. Thank you for watching, and I wish you all the very best. Have a good day.